Any real body must have extension in 4 directions. It must have length, breadth, thickness, and duration, but through a natural infirmary of the flesh, which I will explain to you in a moment. We incline to overlook this fact. There are only really 4 dimensions, 3 which we call the 3 planes of space, and the 4th, time. There is, however, a tendency to draw an unreal distinction between the former 3 dimensions and the latter, because it happens that our consciousness moves intermittently in one direction along the latter from the beginning to the end of our lives. Now, it is very remarkable that this is so extensively overlooked. Really, this is what is meant by the 4th dimension, though some people who talk about the 4th dimension do not know what they mean. It is only another way of looking at time. There is no difference between time and any of the 3 dimensions of space, except that our consciousness moves along it. But some foolish people have got hold of the wrong side of that idea. You have all heard what they have said about the 4th dimension. It is simply this, that space is our, mathematicians have it, is spoken to as having 3 dimensions, which one may call length, breadth, and thickness, and this is always definable by reference to 3 planes. Each right angles to the other, but some philosophical people have been asking why 3 dimensions, particularly why not another direction, at right angles to the other 3, and have even tried to construct a 4-dimensional geometry. Professor Simon Newcomb was exploring this at the New York Mathematical Society only a month or so ago. You know how on a flat surface, which only has 2 dimensions, we can represent a figure of a 3-dimensional solid, and similarly, they think that by models of 3 dimensions they could represent one of 4, if they could master the perspective of the thing. See, I do not mind telling you, I've been at work upon this geometry of 4 dimensions for some time. Some of my results are curious. For instance, here is a portrait of a man at 8 years old, another at 15, and another at 17, another at 23, and so on. All these are evidently sections, as if it were, 3-dimensional representations of his 4th dimensional being, which is a fixed and unaltered thing. There you go, that's a small, very abridged version where I cut out everyone else of the Time Machine intro, trying to talk about how the 4th dimension, being time, is thought of in the book. So, welcome to Nerding Out, Geeking Out. I am Luke.
I'm Greshan.
I'm James.
And today's topic, we're going to be talking around time travel. What is it? What does pop culture think it is? And if it does exist, or is possible, which one is probably the most likely version?
Timey-wimey.
Wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey
That's the one.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, don't. So, I mean, what he's just described there seems to be trying to describe what a tesseract.
A tesseract.
Well, it's what it's how they're trying to visualize the
Yes.
4th dimension.
Yes.
It's basically the fact that they're using the example that we can visualize the 3rd dimension through
a 2-dimensional.
on a 2-dimensional plane, aka actually maybe like draw a cube.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're like, right, so so surely we should be able to do the same thing, draw a 4-dimensional thing within a 3-dimensional plane.
There was a video many moons ago I watched, which was trying to describe or show you what the 4th dimension would what would a 4th dimensional object look like passing through a 3-dimensional plane, and it's basically did it an example with a ball, a round 3D ball, and if you push it through the 3rd dimension and it's a 4th dimensional object, it will appear to grow and shrink and disappear once it's been pushed through the dimensions, because that's how the tesseract works, with it folding in on itself.
Interesting.
The shape is because it's we're seeing it as a fourth dimensional thing, and it's passing through 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
So the idea behind it is it'll randomly appear and disappear. And it gives the example of if you created, if you on a 2-dimensional plane, and you basically think of it as putting an ant, and you draw. Do you remember you see them where they draw circles around it? That is a representation of a 2-dimensional. It can only see in those.
That becomes its jail.
So that is what all it can see.
Yeah.
The ant is obviously can see over it, but it physically can't move beyond that. But from us, as a 3-dimensional, we can see in and move it outside that plane. We can see it. So a 4th-dimensional being, theoretically, will be able to see the similar way we do it. So nothing is actually... It can see everything.
Okay. It's kind of like... Okay, so in Star Trek, there's the character... I can't remember the name of the type of character, but Wesley becomes one and basically can see all time and all space, everything happening at once. A bit like the Watcher.
Yeah.
Was it what was the Marvel?
What If?
What If, that was it.
Yeah, the Watcher is,
yeah,
in some aspects, in that, especially What If is a 4th-dimensional being.
The Watcher definitely operates in the...
Well,
but potentially actually beyond the 4th dimension.
I mean, 7 upwards, I think they're saying there is now.
Yeah, so it is a bit
the
different.
4th dimension has always been linked to time, and that's been linked to gravity, because time and gravity are linked.
Okay.
Going forward, I mean, answering the question, what is the most realistic? Going forward in time.
Going forward, that is for sure. We can manage that one.
But you can go forward in time quicker than anyone else by travelling close to the speed of light, or a dense black hole. There's a funny thing about if you stand next to the pyramids, time is slower. Yes, time is slower than for somebody who's quite far away from you. I can't remember exactly, because of the sheer mass. It's minuscule amounts, but it does slow down. And also, clocks in space, do they run quicker? They'll run slower.
No, they'll run... So the closer you get to the speed of light, your clock will run slower relative to...
mass with the satellites, I think.
I'm talking about the observer effect.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Which is if basically 2 people have clocks, what's it called? Person on Earth kind of holds on to one, other person kind of buggers off close to the speed of light.
And then goes back, does a loop around the...
just gets to a certain point, comes back. By the time they get back, the person holding the clock would be significantly older. But that's using...
Is it time dilation?
Yes, but Einstein's formula.
Oh, theory of... not relativity. No, it's...
No, it would be. It would be.
But yes, but there's places like it can actually be, it cannot be observed if you are near mass. And there was, I think Stephen Hawking once had a TV show where he basically said if there's a train going around the Earth, and it was close to the speed of light, everybody in there, if you could physically see outside, you would see things being built, dismantled, being built. But because you're going at the speed of light, you are... Also, there is one funny thing about it, is nothing can go faster than the speed of light. If your train is running as close to the speed of light as possible, which is on... and somebody runs on that train, the actual whole train will slow down. Something happens with time, I don't know exactly how it works, but nothing can go faster than the speed of light.
It's probably relativity, right? But then again, I mean, it's such a weird world of physics, because we're now starting to, like, a lot of things that we presented as fact, like there's nothing faster than the speed of light,
is only now.
It's well, I mean, it was only recently that we were like, oh, nothing can escape a black hole. that's now not true
Yeah.
because we've now since then gotten pictures of black holes actually spitting out light or spitting out a star that it had consumed. So it's like, okay, so
There's a limit.
there's something.
Yeah.
He was full.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, hungry.
There is also, you theoretically, I think you can go faster if you have an infinite amount of energy. Because, I mean, in terms of time and things like that, a light particle that's travelled, let's say, from a distant galaxy, and I don't know, somewhere from Andromeda or something like that, has travelled here. It's taken billions of years. For that light particle, it was created and intercepted by your eyes at the same. There is no difference in time. It was born and died at the same time.
It doesn't notice the passage of time.
Yeah.
But we do.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Weird world
technically,
of
that's
physics.
like a form of time travel.
I was going to start off way more basic.
No, that's fair,
He just
that's
goes
fair.
went straight in.
That's fair. No. Let's start with basic.
So shall we go with? I can't remember. I thought it was in the time machine. I couldn't find it, so I used that extract instead. But there was also a description where I saw where it was, okay, close your eyes and imagine a horse. Now imagine that horse is running. Now imagine that horse is going past you and running. So what you've got is you had a two-dimensional image, you added motion to it, which was time, and then you added the three dimension by moving. Therefore describing that without time to exist, no dimension would have life or form, meaning it's inherently linked to those things.
A third dimensional being is linked to time because time has to exist
for it to be
a thing.
Yes, to exist essentially. So that's the pseudoscience understanding of time. And one of the things that we always get fascinated in, especially in fiction, is can we go forwards or backwards faster than the constant?
Yeah.
So, common example is the TARDIS from Doctor Who, which is the most pseudosciencey of the lot because it doesn't have any reason for it to ever work. It just does.
It's just Time Lords and time machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fades in, fades out, can go anywhere. Some depictions have it more recently of going in and out of black holes, probably because of what's been seen of things being spat out and things going into black holes, not really having much knowledge of what happens. Unless you actually want to go travel to a black hole and jump in and find out for your hard way, but you know. So there's that idea of movement, and clearly they've taken some inspiration from science. Then we also have things like the DeLorean time machine. Have to reach basically 88 miles an hour.
So fast. I reached that yesterday.
You shouldn't say that.
No. Sorry, it was 88 kilometers an hour.
Yeah. And 1.21 gigawatts of electricity have to be produced at that exact time to send you into the future. So at least there's some form of idea. There has to be a charge, there has to be energy put in to do something. The original version of that was that you, when he was trying to get back, and you haven't seen the film yet, Greshan, so it won't make as much sense to you, but it will to everyone else in the entire world.
I'll be keen to find out how many of our viewers have actually watched this.
Probably most, because it's always on the telly. I was actually on the other day. So at the end of the film, spoiler alert, he has to get back to 1985, and he has to hit 88 miles an hour at the exact time that a bolt of lightning goes across a rail that's been set up by the dock to produce the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. Now, the original version of this was he was to land a little bit closer to a nuclear test site and had to hit the nuclear bomb's drop point. So that was another way. So more energy. Could maybe that form of force create some kind of rupture? And then you've got the stupidity of Mr. Fusion, which is basically a reactor where you put junk in to produce that energy. So you pop the lid open, you put your empty tin can in, and it basically somehow produces electricity of 1.21 gigawatts to be able to power the DeLorean, which means it doesn't have to get hit by lightning for the rest of the films, which is a lot nicer for storytelling for them.
I mean, if you could turn matter into energy, you've got enough energy.
Yeah.
But
The 1.21 gigawatts, there's already been said, like, they just came out of a random number. There was no reason behind it.
Honestly, the thing that's getting me is the fact that it's called gigawatts.
It's meant to be gigawatts.
It's gigawatts. Yeah.
And do you know the reason? The guy that they learnt the word off of the writers had an accent.
Oh, for crying out loud.
So it translates across.
That's so bad.
The original. That's quite funny. The first version of the script, Marty gets into a fridge, and that's the time machine. But then they didn't want to do that because they didn't want to encourage children to get into fridges, because it would be a suffocation issue.
And you wouldn't have been able to build the car.
Yeah. And then the other weird change was, so they were ready to roll with their shoot, but the production company came to them and they said, look, if we change the car from a DeLorean to a Mustang, we'll get X amount from Ford. And the writer turns straight to the guy and says, Doc Brown doesn't drive a fucking Mustang, because it had to be a stupid car to make it work in the film. It had to be something that was a failure that no one would expect, that also there wouldn't be linked to a company at the time that would make money from it as well.
Mustang would have been cool, but yeah, fair enough. That's personal opinion.
It would have been able to hit the speed.
It would have gone way above the speed, so it wouldn't have been any point.
I mean, if they were going for their shape, they could have gone for a wedge Lotus Esprit.
Yeah.
That would have been.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Doesn't look as spaceshipy though. So they have a lot of quips about how it looks like a spaceship, and they have like, he crashes into a farm. The farmer holds up like a magazine his kid's given him. It's literally a picture of Marty, and then this gull-wing door,
right,
in like a radiation suit. There's a lot of, so it had to look like a spaceship. So yeah, there was a lot of storytelling. But yeah, so there's constants of basically, to be able to move through time in the pseudoscience world, there's always a large amount of energy required, whether it be a black hole or 1.21 gigawatts. Do we think that would actually need to be a point or something that would have to happen? Because if you're thinking about it, electricity, is it two-dimensional, one-dimensional, or is that technically another dimensional if you want to think about it? Because you can think about it again in the same way as the horse. If you have a motor, you're drawing a motor, it's static, the motor is moving and the motor is moving past you. You've got a three-dimensional item basically, but without the electricity it doesn't move. So it's one of those things like, is it going to be, if we were to ever develop a way of time traveling, do you think it's going to actually be an electrical energy source, or is there something else it's going to need?
I think it's going to need energy, but it's going to need something that the energy can use, or something that utilizes the energy.
Yeah.
Because if you look about like moving forward in time, for instance, to get anywhere near the speed of light, you need almost an infinite amount of energy. Which is the closer you get to the speed of light, the more energy you need, but the slower time for you is.
Yeah.
Going backwards, I mean, I don't know enough. Not a scientist. But
You're not?
No, funny enough.
Scott!
I would say you need a form of mass, because mass, gravity, helps bend time/space.
Yeah. I guess the closest to that would be Superman, right? So Superman's time travel spins around
he goes
really quickly.
Around the Earth the other way, sends the Earth spinning the other direction.
Yeah.
Which I always found comical, because for some reason, don't ask me why I had an understanding of this, but I was like, the moment Earth slows down, even before it starts spinning the other way, you've killed everyone. Because let's say you've successfully managed to just hit the brakes on Earth. Okay, Earth stops spinning. Everything else still has the momentum of however many 1,000 kilometers per hour.
Neil deGrasse Tyson
we're
has
spinning
actually
it.
done the calculations,
Yeah.
or has spoke about this calculation
Yeah.
before.
You will genuinely just everything will just go flying, and everyone will die.
Everybody's dead.
Everybody's just dead. Oh wait, where's that from? That's from Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's dead, Dave.
I heard
Even
Dave.
Hollister, how do you know? Yes, Dave. Everybody's
Everybody's
dead.
dead.
Everybody's dead, Dave.
Oh dear.
I mean, there's like shows where you basically, I mean, my favourite one is Stargate,
Yeah.
but it basically uses two gates that basically bend time, space around it to, like you're folding a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Is a way of describing it, is how that works. They do say that, but then they also say other things, so it might not be like that. But the idea is how they time travel is you go past a star that's either going... Is it a chrono... Is it ejection? What's it called?
Supernova?
Basically, yeah. It's where it ejects plasma out, comes back in on itself.
Yeah.
That it basically uses that, which is a large amount of mass, to bend the wormhole around, and you can then calculate where you want to be in time and travel that way. So I think the idea is you might need mass to travel. I don't know about travelling back. That's going in forward, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say, as far as time traveling forwards, so going into the future, the maths holds up, and we've visibly seen certain occasions.
Well, there's, like I say, satellite clocks have to be readjusted
Exactly.
because of said.
So we've proven that that's possible. The maths, I think there is a blocker, or the math seems to fail the moment you try to go backwards. And even if I wasn't to like look at it mathematically or physically or in terms of like science, it's the immediate case of the repercussions of you going into the past. Immediately of just like what happens if you have an impact on something that leads to
The butterfly effect.
the
There we go.
the butterfly
I got
effect.
loads of this example from sci-fi.
Well, no, it's like what happens if you happen to do something that prevents, let's say, your parents from having you, or like even
It's
me.
almost like you've watched Back to the Future.
No, it's not that. It's like that is just the.
Is that the
basic-
grandfather paradox?
That is just basic concern.
Or you become
of
your
time
own
travel.
grandfather, like Fry from Futurama.
Because if you did have that impact, then how the hell are you there in the first place? You then create like a
It's a
conundrum
paradox.
where you do create a paradox because like you should not have existed. So how are you there in the first place?
That's where the Back to the Future variant comes in.
Right.
So Back to the Future, what happens is you have in 2025 2015 the future, Biff steals a DeLorean, goes back to the 50s, alters it so that certain events have changed, and they describe it as there's a stream going on still, but then he took it, went back, changed something, so when they then moved backwards through time again, they
Creates
locked
a new
onto
stream.
that version,
Creates a new stream.
creates a new stream.
Right.
So you have parallel
that's-
streams.
that's
It's like all the Marvel
that's
stuff's
the
being...
Marvel. That's the Marvel.
I mean, that's what they do say,
Right.
though. Everything that has happened, or
Yeah.
anything that could happen or will happen, there's like they say there's parallel universes,
Yes.
which would
Yeah.
be
It's the parallel universe theory.
where every choice you make creates another branch.
Yes. And it's quite funny because in Doctor Who, I think it was Martha asking the Doctor, what happens if I, kill my grandmother or something? And he was like, well, don't do that. And which one is the closest to reality? And he goes, oh, have you seen Back to the Future? That's probably the closest. So it's quite funny. So they piggyback on that one. But yeah, it's a bit mind bending because. So the other interesting thing is there's a scene in Back to the Future 2 where Biff is holding a gun to Marty on a rooftop and Marty steps backwards instead of getting shot by Biff. The only way that the DeLorean would have been there to stop him falling and dying is because Doc witnessed it at least once, then went back in time and came back to save Marty from killing himself.
But then I find myself stuck in, like, let's say that was the case. Then I find myself stuck in the case of have you seen the Rick and Morty episode where they mess around with time travel and snakes?
Oh.
Yeah. It's literally a case of right. They give the snakes they give this. It doesn't have to be snakes. They give a civilization technology to allow them to go back. So immediately, first thing they do, first person hops in the machine, goes back, kills Hitler, comes back, and is like, "Oh crap! Why is the world different?" and then let's say all of it centers around the first big change that was made. So then you've just got people just using the exact same technology from different times in the future to hop back to the same point. So you have so many different versions of yourself. It gets so messy, where it's just like you just end up creating another paradox. I don't know.
And there's the fear that if you come across yourself in the past or in the future because you've both time traveled and you touch, what happens?
Yes.
And they've done it twice now on Doctor Who. The first time was funny because they touch and there's a little spark that happens. It was two Sonics.
Oh yeah.
And then the up to date one, they do this weird like time vortexy thing where it shows the person aging and getting old and stuff. And it's like they've even like muddled around with how they think it will happen. And that's the same writer because that was both times. Oh no, it wasn't actually. The first time was Moffat, so the second time was Rusty Davis.
Well, I think it's a classic case of nobody has an answer to this, so it's very much up to up to your creative mindset, right? Of how you want this to.
It'll be catastrophic effects.
The Flash, the TV show.
Oh yeah.
Deals with that, where there's multiple variants of him who's going back in time to try and stop himself from doing stopping what happens.
I think they did the same thing in Family Guy, where Stewie and Brian go back just so that Brian could figure out where the bone is, and then suddenly Brian interacts with his Brian, the Brian from the past, causes a lot of chaos, and then suddenly you just have an entire backyard of just hundreds of Stewies and Brians just being like, don't do that, don't do this, no, don't do that. Because each decision has a massive profound impact.
I wonder if, because you see a lot of not TV shows, but people in the scientific field who say, well, if you've not seen anybody, Stephen Hawking hosted a party that he didn't tell anybody about until after.
How do you know that? Oh, right. That's
what were you going to say, sorry?
No. I was wondering if you were going down the line of, if nobody's seen it, how do you know it happened? Or?
It's very similar to that.
Right.
He hosted a party and didn't tell anybody about it until after, and he said nobody turned up, so therefore time travel doesn't exist.
Interesting.
But I'm thinking, if you think about the butterfly effect, you wouldn't want to. If we evolved to the point where we can have time travel, I think we have a bit more of an understanding of universe and cause and effect. Would you want to risk going back in time and affecting their progress? Even though everything that could go wrong has gone wrong and may go, there's a lot of ifs and whats.
Issue.
Yeah. What?
For human beings.
Yeah.
I think I'm still yet to come across a human being that's genuinely got the capacity to actually look at something from such a large world view, point of view.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if you think we've got to the point where we can time travel, we've gone through a lot. There's a lot of things to solve before we time travel.
Yeah.
If it's physically possible, which it wouldn't surprise
we still don't know,
wouldn't surprise me if it is. Think of what would, as a species, we would have gone through to be able to get to that. I think we have a bit more, like I say, we have a bit more of an understanding of cause and effect. So I do think
it's possible as long as the world hasn't become like idiocracy.
Yeah.
But-
Where you would get some dumbass kills the smart person that created time travel and then steals it. Like Biff in Back to the Future.
I think that happened in that new TV show on Netflix with Ryan Reynolds. He goes back to see his younger self, and
yes.
so
That was a movie.
I didn't
wasn't it?
realise until it was a.
That was a really good film, actually. Oh, why did I forget about that film?
Because funny enough, I think it might have been built
It was
off.
alright.
Might have been built off the theory of.
Don't know if it
But-
was good.
I
that
do.
was good.
It makes me
'Cause he was
wonder.
funny.
Would they just be observers? Would if you've got that?
I like the observer theory of like you're allowed to go back, but you cannot mess with anything. So as in they can't see you,
Yeah.
you can just see them, but you can't interact with them in any way.
Yeah, and
If somehow that protection was built in, then I'd get it.
I think genuinely, if we've got to a point of a species where that happens, yes, there's always the outliers, but then I don't think. I think they'd also have an understanding that if they go too far back and meddle, what they have might not happen.
I mean,
Like what they go back to might be completely different. They might not even cease to exist, like you see in where the people start to fade as the time unwinds on that particular story. So it wouldn't surprise me if say in 20,000 years that we haven't in the future, for instance, and we haven't destroyed ourselves, and we've actually come together as a species, which I'm yet to see.
Yep.
But if we've got to the point where we can time travel, we've got infinite energy, things have been solved of the planet. Like the one thing that causes a lot of wars is resource. If resource has been survived and has been solved, and we've decided, do you know what? We've got time travel because there's a lot of expansion to go in the universe before we bother with time travel. Let's be honest.
There is. It's not exactly a priority.
No. So it wouldn't surprise me if we did have time travel. It would be a more civil. It might be something like what the Time Lords were before they were corrupted,
Gallifrey.
where they were just watchers, or they just like passively looked at the universe, like the Watchers, for instance.
yeah, I was gonna say the Watchers
Yeah.
from Rick and Morty. Yeah,
But
they
there's-
only watch, but then a watcher.
As a species, I don't think we'll ever get to that point because there's technically there's an infinite universe,
True.
and as a species, conquerors.
I
Yeah.
I just think if even if a bunch of really smart scientists do like figure it out, I think regardless. So I agree that if you kind of go back in time of like human civilization, you could probably have an impact that then messes up everything. I feel like most scientists who are like working in this field immediately are going to want to go all the way back to the beginning of time. I think immediately anybody who's working on this conundrum of time travel, I feel like surely your first thing you're thinking of is what happened to the Big Bang Theory. What happened before the Big Bang? That's I think that's
There's
what
a
they.
song about that. The whole universe. That's like the Big
But
Bang
if
Theory.
you're doing,
No.
if you're going through time though, I think that there could possibly be a limit of how far back you can go.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Before the Earth's.
so like right now there appears to be, I think, some kind of mathematical limit to preventing us going back, but limits are generally something that is waiting to be discovered.
There's
so.
a really big problem with going backwards or forwards in time, though. Because if you go forwards in time on this spot, you're going to end up in space.
No, yeah. Yeah.
So you need to have something that ties you
Yeah,
to your
which is why
geographic location.
Which
You
is why
need
going
beacons.
forward in time is using the speed of light
Yes.
to make you travel forward. So you are anchored to
Yeah.
the Earth. But if you were to do, for instance, the TARDIS way of moving backwards and forwards,
Yeah, just fade out and fade in. Oh shit, we're in space. Where's Earth? Oh, it's over there.
they actually do that in. They take that into account in Stargate with planetary shift.
Mm.
So there's actually that's one of the ways of figuring out how it works is they have to take into account actual planetary drift.
Can you tell in this episode who likes Doctor Who and who likes Stargate? And who doesn't watch sci-fi?
Pretty bloody obvious. I'm just
Rick and
like,
Morty.
I'm just
Max.
like, let's look at what Einstein and Hawking said.
What did
Sci-fi.
I think sci-fi is the way because
Sci-fi is a very good way of exploring it.
yes, and
I agree.
trying to understand it,
I
but
agree.
to physically do it, you need to go to the scientists.
We ain't scientists, but we do watch a lot of films and TV.
Yeah. And we have ChatGPT. Other assistants are available.
They are. I always thought it was just really interesting. So funny enough, my obsessions have always been around time travel based sci-fi. That's the main thing. The only one that wasn't was the original, which was Star Wars when I was a kid. But the idea of going back into different time periods and experiencing those civilizations, maybe finally finding out how the hell the pyramids were built, that universal question.
I don't know.
Which is why I think the observer theory is pretty...
Yeah.
It might explain UFO sightings.
If observer theory if that was to be the case, I think that would open it up, because it would mean that I think people would stop having holidays on the planet that they're in. They'll be having holidays in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it would become an event or a very expensive holiday for you to go witness something happening in the
I
past.
hear
where
Pompeii was really cheap one day.
Yeah, real estate suddenly was really cheap.
You went the next day. Wow, there was loads for sale.
Oh dear. No, it's. I think in terms of kind of time travel that we've seen, we've talked about time dilation, and we've talked about kind of gravitational time dilation as well. And with the whole time dilation thing, like we've proven it. So we've seen that astronauts in the space station, they do actually age milliseconds slower than people on Earth. So that's been seen, it's been proven. So that's there. And then everything that then goes about how do we go back? We've got the the whole theory of we're chatting about you accidentally causing yourself not to be born.
Yeah.
That's the grandfather paradox.
Yeah.
So obviously that's there. I don't know how much of a mathematical limit that gives, but it might be some. It might be some.
I think the idea... I don't know about the mathematics side of it, but it's quite easy to understand the fact that if you stop yourself from being born, then... But what we don't know is do you disappear or do you become...
Yeah.
Do you fade out like Marty McFly,
Yeah.
or do you create an alternative timeline?
Well, or is it like the... one could be... is it Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, or is it a Fifth Symphony? One of his symphonies.
There's a lot of them.
If most famous one, I can't remember off the top of my head. But if you were to take that back, pick that now, get the notes, everything, take it back and give it to him, and he writes it again, who actually came up with the idea?
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
I think
so there's that theory of it.
Yeah, I was
where
going to say, you are right. You don't have to necessarily think of it mathematically. You can just do a logical thing of... Actually, no, simple maths. We're gonna go back to algebra. Let's say
A plus B squared equals C squared.
cool. Well done. Let's say you have a variable x, and x is current right now.
Current what?
Let's say it's a current variable, and then x will change with time. Let's say x plus something will equal z in the future. That z is multiple years in the past. So what needs to be added together to get to x? So if you've gone back in time and you've just got x hanging about in the past, you're telling me x existed to add up with something to produce x? It makes no sense. That's kind of where the grandfather paradox kind of falls apart in simple mathematical terms.
But Fry is his own grandfather.
I'm assuming that's
Yeah,
Futurama.
Don't
Futurama.
just
Oh, that is a Futurama.
Fry
thing.
becomes his own grandfather.
Yes, he did. I forgot. Yeah, by
That
falling
kind of
into it.
raises the grandfather effect in a way.
well, no, but where did he come from? Because he has different genetics.
Aliens. This is every episode now.
Fry wasn't a grandfather. Fry was a.
What?
And-
Fry went back in time and married his grandmother and had a kid, and then his grandkid became Fry. Who then?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, obviously in the beginning of Futurama when he falls into the
No.
falls
Not
into the
quite.
machine, just gets frozen.
This is a completely different bit.
No. I think ultimately what I'm trying to get is there's obviously lots of theories of black holes, wormholes. The thing is, we still understand very little about them. Yes, there are some theories that they could allow us to kind of like a wormhole kind of existing in 2 points in space-time would allow you to kind of travel through, but all of that suggests you having to stabilize something that we don't understand.
Yeah.
For me, that's everything.
and it's just like there's so many problems of like we just don't have any understanding. We don't have any understanding of the antimatter. We don't have any understanding of what would be required to even begin to stabilize a black hole.
Well, we don't have an understanding of well, we have an understanding of matter.
but
Dark matter, antimatter.
No, it all just falls apart.
They do say like it all adds up, but in some form.
Yeah.
But do we put stuff in place because we don't understand it? Is there
And
a lot
I
of...
think it's quite a lot of our understanding of black holes have just been thrown out the window now that one of the black holes started spitting out a star that it ate, billions of years ago. Because this whole point we've just been like, once you enter a black hole, that's it, you're done.
I think this sounds like they're doing what they did in Star Trek for one of the episodes. So they had, I think it was Voyager, got stuck inside a black hole. And there was loads of ships stuck inside a black hole. And occasionally you could find a way to slingshot your way out. And they just exist inside. It's like a bigger on the inside effect.
It's chaos.
Yeah, it's just pure chaos. Chows?
Chows.
Let's just bring this
the
all
warp.
back around
It's
to
the
Warhammer. It's
Just the warp.
It is just the warp.
And the warp is like an ocean.
Well, it's basically
I mean, one
an ocean.
theory is
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Well, I mean, one theory is we're in a black hole.
Oh, yeah, there is that.
No, we are the tiniest of tiny specks on a giant's foot in the world. That's the crazy theory.
Sorry, what?
Well, you know how like you've got loads of little tiny organisms like on every surface that's ever
yeah,
existed. We are one of those tiny organisms.
Oh.
A bit like in Men in Black.
No.
Oh yeah,
We're inside a marble.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to remember there's that animated movie of the elephant and the...
My phone's ringing.
You are
So-
popular. If it's Mother.
There's a high probability. No, I don't know who that is.
Wunderbar.
That was your past self trying to warn you
Not
about
to do this episode.
exactly because it's going to have repercussions.
It can't have been me. It was on WhatsApp.
Oh God!
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That
it's
case
me.
probably legal
It's
past
me
self,
from the future.
Legal excuse.
I don't know who this is.
Using WhatsApp.
I'm very sorry.
I'm back.
Oh, I didn't know till recently that I could send you a message through Messenger like WhatsApp. Because I was stuck in the first iPhone when the iPhone came through and you couldn't send messages to each other. With pictures and that stuff.
Time travel.
Anyway,
I apologise. My phone was ringing. This is caused.
that was a small delay with an additional story on top. Time travel. So, if you could go back into any time period, what would it be? You had a one-off shot. You want to see one thing. And none of us have that dramatic moment
You see,
like in Doctor
it's-
Who where you want to go see who your mother was when they dropped you off at the church or
It's-
anything.
It's really annoying because I would really love to go watch the pyramids get built. Small issue. We don't know when that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an issue.
That is a bit of a problem. Literally, I could give you an arbitrary number, it could rock up at that location and be like,
Plus or minus 1,000 years.
they're not here. Great.
I'll tell you what you could do though. You could go back to at least 100 years before the head was resculpted and see what it looked like originally.
Even then, we've got a plus or minus a couple hundred years.
No, once again, we don't know exactly when the head was resculpted.
Well, you better not fucking go there then.
It's still a theory as to whether it was resculpted.
And because we've only used carbon dating around it, it gives you a rough time frame.
You're carbon dating the stuff you find in between the bricks. They can't carbon date the bricks themselves, which is the issue. So they're like, we think it's this old.
Okay.
It's a problem.
I would like to go...
But if you were to say, Greshan, you can go back to an event, and I can just give you an event, and you find it for me.
Here's a ticket to an event.
Yes.
Where do you want to go?
Oh,
yes, 100%. I want to see.
See what the ancient world would be like. And then ask somebody about Atlantis, and then go, is that real?
Yeah. Atlantis is not a bad shout.
No, I think I'd
I'm
like
so
to go...
dull. I just want to go back to see David Bowie on stage in the 70s.
I'd want to go back to... I don't know. Sort of see the crucifixion in that era.
Mm-hmm.
Just because.
The Roman Empire. Biggest dickers.
It's the Roman Empire.
I knew him well.
But I would much prefer... Like I think seeing the pyramids would be... We know the date of...
As an observer where I didn't have to interact, I probably want to go into the heights of the Industrial Revolution to see the Great Exhibition. If I had to go there, I'd probably end up with every kind of disease possible and die instantly, knowing me. So
yes,
you would just go as an observer.
Thank you for agreeing.
But observer, you'd be okay because you'd be in your own little.
Because that'd be pretty cool.
Oh, we don't. You see, we don't.
Yeah. I was like, haha, that's rubbish. Haha, that's rubbish. Haha, you will succeed.
You are the future.
You are the future. Congratulations. Have a medal.
Is there anything in the near like past that we would travel to?
I think because I know we actually know the date
The
and
night
time.
we had the flying stuff above the house.
Oh yes, yeah.
Let's go back to that and see it.
Let's go back and figure out what stupid thing you saw.
And Amy. It wasn't just me. Because she was really pissed off that I dragged her out of bed to come down here and look out the window.
You just wanted somebody else to see.
I did. I was like, I am not going to go to bed and be the only person that saw this friggin' flying thing above my house.
I'm telling you, man, they're just fucking with people in Bewsham.
Yeah, they are.
100%.
Well, there's always been loads of UFO sightings because we're near Lynham, so it's to be expected. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd like to go see the Great Exhibition, and I would like to experience the craziness of the 70s and 80s in the pop rock culture.
It's a cool era.
Yeah.
And someone said though, like if you were to actually
But in the
walk
US,
walk
not the
among
UK,
them,
mainly.
if you were to walk among them and time travel, there's only so far back you'll be able to go before you would stand out because of language, of how much it's changed.
Yeah.
Oh, I can change. At least to the start of the century. What-o? How's it going, old chap?
But
nice to see you. Oh, yes.
It's not just that though. It's like your mannerisms and things.
Mannerisms.
Everything's slightly changed. They do say you'll be able to understand it till quite far back.
Don't say hello before the invention of the telephone.
No.
No, I mean basically what's going to happen is he's going to go back. He's going to be too respectful to someone of colour or someone of the opposite gender. And they're going to be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Get that man in jail. No, it'll be like that scene from, once again, Family Guy, when they visited the mental asylum.
I can tell that you watch a lot of cartoons.
No. It's just funny because they do lots of random bits like this and it just comes to me. They visited a mental asylum and Peter says hello and he's like, and the doctor who's like from the 1920s just comes out and is like, You're friends with a paralyzed man and a black man. You must be insane. And then Cleveland just talks to him.
Oh.
He was just like, a black man speaking up to a white man. You must be insane. He was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
And it was like, all disabled people must be euthanized. It's like, oh god damn, this is getting worse. This is getting worse.
So bad.
Oh, so bad. But no, I think you are right. I think it would be really obvious if you were like you'd have to try really hard not to stick out. Which is why I'd hope like if the observer effect was a thing that you just like it's just impossible for you to interact with anything. And that would be the ideal case.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's going to be the case.
I'd like to go back if I could go back multiple times, I'd like to see lots of different points just to go, is this how it was in the history books?
Yeah.
Just because I'm nosy.
Would any of you go into the future? Like, let's say you get one ticket.
No.
One ticket, and you can either use it to go into the past or the future.
No.
That's fair.
I would.
I just see it as a.
You would?
I just see it
I'd
as a
go into the
Mad
future
Max.
and back.
But how
world.
far would you go? Because remember, we know exactly when our sun will die, so there's no point going beyond that. It'll be interesting.
Unless there's a
It'll be
spaceship
interesting
you
to
can watch
see
it
if we've
from.
made it interplanetary by that point, which I think we should have.
If it was out of like wanting to, if it was like unlimited to a few hundred years in the future, I'd go as far forward as I could.
As far forward as you can.
And then also look back and go, what happened then? Just have a look back in history.
Oh, so go there and hope that records of history is so good that you can actually.
Oh yeah,
That's smart. Actually,
I
actually do like that.
I know it's like
No,
contrary to what we said, but
it's a little bit cheaty, but I like it.
I would like to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I would like to read what's
Well, that's
happening.
one way to get the stock market on your side.
100.
That's exactly my thinking.
I know. You're doing the sports almanac again, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes.
But I would play it in a slightly less.
More suspicious.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yeah.
It's like, how did he invest at exactly the right time every single time?
Just got lucky.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you got the IRS asking that multiple times for multiple hedge funds.
Yeah.
Hedge funds.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you know to invest in
Or
this?
I'd do it just slightly after, not on the exact day
It's-
it peaks, and just a little bit after, an hour or two.
You have to be really careful with it, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't win so big that people clock on, but you also can't win so big that you literally force things to change.
Yeah. There'd be a good point, which is why you'd have to read it.
Yeah.
That's where it falls over in Back to the Future, because no way would it have happened, because the world would have changed because of it. Because basically he gets a sports almanac which tells him every race result from the 1950s to 2000. Funnily enough, if you were to bet on some of those things and become really big, I think something would change.
Yeah.
Like, that horse is suddenly retired early because it made so much money and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there'd be an effect.
yeah.
I mean, it's a classic case of cause and effect, right?
Yeah.
So,
But I think with the like, rather than betting on games, it's a lot easier to bet on the market. I would say than
Yeah.
because you would have to have you'd have to make sure you don't invest so much or buy so much that
Yeah.
another person who buys something then leads to something else. It would be difficult to do. You could do small
you
amounts.
turn up and invest like a little bit into Nvidia.
Yeah, I'd go. Oh, I'd trust my gut and go back. If I could go back in time a little bit, I'd definitely.
Oh no, 100%. Just
Yeah.
just a smidgen in Nvidia. Fuck it, a smidgen to Bitcoin because
Yeah.
the moment it hit 100, I'd be like, yep, take that out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm out of here.
There is one funny thing about that is, if you were to go back and try and do like Biff did with the almanac and things like that, if you from now our time to go back, how would you get the money to do it?
Yeah, how would you get that money in there?
Yeah, because you can't take money back because it's all.
You'd have to have, like, somehow set up a false identity for yourself with bank accounts and everything.
Yeah,
To be able to actually do it.
and the other option is you go back and tell.
Yeah,
your future.
or somehow interact with yourself.
Yeah.
Scott, a paradox.
Yeah.
You would just, or you wouldn't let them know it was you. You would just leave a note and.
Yeah, just leave subtle bits of information
Yeah.
that just leads.
You'd have to be careful how
I
much
think
information.
Nvidia's going to have a promising future.
Because I would literally go back and just say, trust your gut
Uh,
on the stock. Because half the ones I looked at have just gone
Yep.
Straight up, I was like, oh my word.
Very annoyed. Very annoyed about that.
But in terms of
Stocks and shares, people. That's the next conversation topic.
Hell yeah.
But in terms of like going back into the future, like how far into the future, I'd love to know where we were as a species.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm just very pessimistic. I see Mad Max Fury Road as the future, and I don't want to see it in my person because I'll probably end up dead.
I mean,
Observer effect.
Yeah.
If you're observer,
Yeah, observer
you're
fine,
safe.
but at the same time, it's like, why am I bothering with life? You just come back suicidal, wouldn't you? Because you wouldn't want to bother to exist because it's
I'd
just going
go
to lead to nothing.
so far into the future that my time.
My time would have gone.
Yeah,
I'm not going so close that I see exactly what happens.
like in 20
my
years,
lifetime.
30 years time.
I don't know.
Well, that's if it takes that long.
Actually, no. If let's say somebody was to give you a slider of like you can go 20 years in the future or whatever the limit is in the future, that's what I'm going.
Oh yeah,
Because I'd be really intrigued to see what is at the end of time. Like what happens when the universe collapses. Is it the great crunch theory of the universe is going to keep expanding to a certain point, and then at some point it's swollen too much, and it all comes back down at one point? Is that what's going to be? I'd be really intrigued to see what that is. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like to see how far in the future.
I think.
I'm not curious enough.
No. So I'm really curious about about many things that happened in the past, but at the same time, I'm also really curious about a lot of stuff that we know inklings about, like the if we're looking at space, like the potential planet X that exists, that's having an impact on Pluto. Like, where is that? Why can't we see it? What's going on there? I'd really love to just go into the future and just see how much we've learned and get an understanding of maybe at some point in the future, somebody just fully just figures out black holes and it's just it's actually quite simple. It's a train. I don't know. It's as simple as the TFL for you to just travel back. I don't know, but that would be really really cool to see or find out about. I don't know. The future's more intriguing for me, weirdly.
Oh, I want to know. I would like to go back and prove or disprove conspiracies, I think.
No,
but
one ticket.
One ticket. I think if you could take money back, the one ticket would be to go and put money into NVIDIA or something like that. Or Apple computers.
Mm-hmm.
Which would probably be easier to forge because it's all analog still at that point.
If you were doing on that point,
Yeah.
I would go back to Standard Oil times. Because
invest heavy there.
Because you could forge certificates back then. They actually did that because it wasn't technically at the time. I don't think it was illegal when they did it for railroads, or it was borderline illegal.
The railroads.
Or it probably was illegal, but it was easier to get away with.
I think it's probably
Yeah.
easy to get away with, yeah.
Wow.
Because at that time there was it's a bit of a different topic here. One chap was buying up all the railroads, and I won't go into names right now, but one chap was going to go on the railroads, and the company he was buying kept issuing new shares because they had they had the power to issue new shares, so he had to just buy loads and loads and loads, and they were he actually looked at an old one and then looked at the new one and realised how new it was.
Yeah.
That was what they did. They didn't forge them. The company had the right to issue new shares.
Damn.
So it would take. So his share he was buying them at market price, but they were getting diluted.
Unlike BlackBerry,
Yeah.
who issued shares that were backdated to before they got big to certain individuals to get them on board. That's how they got people from Google and Apple and Microsoft and Nintendo. They gave them backdated shares.
Value.
And which also then inflated their price.
Smart.
And
then they collapsed.
And technically never got proven in court properly. Because all of the data was on an encrypted BlackBerry phone.
I love that.
Oh, that's funny.
The encryption was so good.
Yes. You should definitely watch the film BlackBerry, which is on Netflix.
I'll watch that.
It's really good.
I've seen snippets of it. I do want to watch it.
I convinced Amy to watch it, and I was like, yes.
I'm going to
watch
throw
that tonight,
one question out there. Of let's say you get given that same ticket. That this is. I'll keep it open.
So many tickets. Feel like I'm playing Ticket to Ride here, Greshan.
No. So
For anything.
you get one ticket. You can either choose to go to the future or the past. But you go back. You can extract information or find out about something and come back and tell everyone. What are you going for?
Oh.
Because I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going back to.
You just sound like a lunatic, wouldn't you?
No. Of course. But at the same time, it'll also be rather entertaining.
So you want yourself to go down the shitter, but it'll be funny.
It'll be really funny because
Okay.
genuinely, 100%, I would love to see the chaos that I could ensue by going back in time, kind of looking at just what was happening around the time of like Jesus' time. See what's happening right then.
Oh yeah.
And then you come
That'd be a
back and
good
you
one.
drop that bombshell. I think it could cause so much chaos.
So there was no one called that back then at all. Well, I don't understand where this story came from.
Or you come back with like video proof of like him just healing everyone and like shit. just like that's just all the atheists just having a full on meltdown like crap.
Everything I've said, everything I've done.
No.
Ah.
That means hell's real. No.
Set a boat outside of Epstein's Island with a really long camera lens. And hire a photographer.
No, if that's the case, you'd go back into the future if it's ever released.
Oh yeah, true.
I love that.
Because Trump is on the list.
Well,
He's admitted.
We've already seen that
Yeah,
on the flight record.
Just happened like
I think it's like
it's fake news.
It's crazy just how many people are on there though.
Yeah.
There's a stupid.
Oh, I know another good one that would be good
What?
to find out. Wait at the tunnel that Diana's car flipped.
Oh, you want to find out what happened?
Yes.
No, I like that. I like
That's
that.
a good one.
That's
I
a good
like
one.
that.
Yeah, if you could go
Well-
to a time and place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And figure out if it was actually foul play, which
Yeah,
probably was.
that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
I think we are at time, gentlemen.
James, if you want to throw in one more,
No.
it's just us two have done ours. What is that one thing you're gonna go back, get information, and come back? Be like, I know it. I've got proof.
He just wants stocks and shares.
No. He wouldn't be able to like invest in it.
If it was,
Like unless he goes into the future, then it's messy. But let's just do past it.
I wouldn't want to do the future because that could change.
Yeah,
Me
okay,
telling
yeah.
people that would change.
Yeah.
If it was the past, it would genuinely probably be to see if Atlantis and the ancient Egyptians was
Nice.
together.
I like that.
Like, what's the correlation between them? I wouldn't know where I'd go.
Yeah,
Probably.
If they were giant creatures that looked
Yeah.
like they're gods in ancient
Yeah.
Egypt.
Yeah.
Or,
That would be cool.
Or it would be going back to, is it the Sumerians? Is it or the like pre-Aztec where there was
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yes. The civilization before them.
yeah, like the civilization that they've got carvings of to see. That's probably actually where I'd go.
Yeah. No. I like
To
that.
see if the giants were real because they had kings that lived for 10,000 years or something like that.
And just like that, we've basically just come all the way back around to our conspiracy.
We
episode.
always go back
We
to
love it.
conspiracies.
At this point, we should
Ancient Egypt.
I think ancient Egypt. You can blame James and I think we just have too many questions about that.
That's because time travel, Stargate, ancient Egypt.
For me,
It
it's
all
ju-
links
for
too
me,
much.
it's just I want to know how they were built.
I
I'm too nosy.
I want to know how they were built. I want to crack them open, see what's inside. I want to stop all of this like secrets bollocks.
And I want you to visually see an alien so that I don't get mocked all the time. And on
On
that
that note,
see you later,
See ya.
guys. Make sure
See
to
ya.
like, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Bye.
Peace.